So I'm looking over the menu and I'm like, oh, did you want to like get like an appetizer to share or something? How hungry were you? Like, what were you thinking? Tell me how this man tells me he's not gonna eat. I was like, what? Why? Why would you invite me out for dinner and you're not going to eat? Today's Monday. I just got to work. I got here much later than I had anticipated, but whatever, man. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You guys ever just have like, oh, duh, of course you guys do. We all do. We all have days where we're just like, ah, I'm over it. Me and my bed just wanted to chill out today and work, and adult shit got in the way. I'm probably gonna be all over the place in this vlog, so I apologize in advance. Okay. So, let's eat and chat. What are we gonna talk about? We gonna talk about worst date experiences. And just like getting through like this time, the holidays, all of that stuff, while single, because I know it's horrible. I know. Okay, so what do I have, you say? I have some white rice and I don't want to spill anything. That's sauteed kale and spinach. And then, guys, I have some leftovers from the fry, which is basically, it's a Korean barbecue place. Oh my goodness. I never knew about Korean barbecue before this year. Like, I never tried it, at least. So this is their, what is it? This is their fried chicken and sauce. Oh, it's so good. And then here's just some water with those little vitamin C shaker thingies. Yeah, anyway. So it's funny because I wasn't even gonna talk about this worst date experience, and it wasn't like the worst date. When I say worst, like, I'm just grateful that I've never had any date experiences where like I had to deal with a stalker or just like harassment or anything crazy like that. You know, when I say worst date, it was just a bad date. All the things that could go wrong were just like, yeah, they went wrong. Another thing, I eat my food like so hot because I eat so slow. Anyway, I wasn't even gonna talk about this, but something happened yesterday and it brought it to my memory. So I'm not gonna go into details about the specific person, but yeah, I'll tell you the story. So yesterday, I'm in the like nighttime, before I go to my bed, like wind down and stuff, I just check. I like plan out the following day. Like, it's just some of the things that I know I need to get done that week or that day specifically. And because I have this event that I'm doing, I got an email from the person and I just wanted to quickly check it to make sure there wasn't anything like super important that I had to like immediately answer. But while I was in my email, I saw e-transfer deposited. No, that's not when I saw it. I went into my business bank account app to check to see if my weekly deposits went in, if everything was okay, because I checked that stuff and it was fine. Everything's good. But then I see this extra money, and guys, when it comes to my money, like, I keep track of what's going in and coming out of my account. So when I saw this extra money, I was like, what? An e-transfer from who? And then I see the name and I'm like, wait a minute, this name looks really familiar, but I couldn't quite figure it out right off the top of my head. And I was like, and then I'm trying to think, okay, well, was there something that someone was supposed to pay me for and I didn't remember? And I'm like, that's not me. I remember all of that stuff. If you're supposed to pay me, trust me, I will not forget that. So okay, what is this? What is this from? Y'all, if you don't know, I eat messy. I love eating messy food. Okay. So I'm here trying to figure out, and then the name rings a bell. I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't this the guy that I went on a date with like 2 years ago? So now I'm trying to figure out, why is he sending me money? Because, ladies, you know how guys are? They'll do like the weirdest things to get your attention. And I've never had anyone send me money to get my attention, but like, sometimes you have to wonder, like sometimes guys will just do like really extreme things just to, yeah. Anyway. So, I realize who it is now. I don't check my, like Facebook Messenger often. Like, I don't, because I get so much like spam. I don't really check it like that. So if you're sending me anything important, the way I see it, it was important, you'd have my email or my number or something. Anyway, I digress. So, I see that there's all these messages from him. And he's basically saying that he accidentally sent the money. And I get it. That happens to people. It ain't happening to me, because I double checked that. I'm not going to accidentally send anybody any kind of money. Because not everyone's honest. They might not want to send it back. Anyway, so he says, yeah, he accidentally sent it. I forgot that, like, I believe him, his sister, and I have the same name. So I guess he was sending her some money, and he saw the name Sarah, and he just sent it. He didn't check the email or anything like that. And because I have auto deposit, it just goes directly into my bank account. Now, the reason why it really stood out to me is because that's my business account, and I know everything that's being deposited in there. So he's basically asking me if I could send it back. Of course I'm going to send it back. Yeah. Anyway. So, that got me to thinking about the date that we had. Because I'm thinking, why does he even have my email in his like pay section for e-transfers? I'm like, why does he even have it? And I'm trying to think. And even up until just about 10 minutes ago when I was about to make this video, I couldn't remember why. And then it dawned on me. This was one of my worst dates. And there's a reason. So, meet this guy online. Handsome, I will give him that. Handsome guy. Seemed great and everything. But the very first thing that gave me red flags was that he was young. Like, significantly younger than me. Like, I'm pretty sure he was like 8 years younger than me or something like that. Like, it was a lot. And this was 2 years ago. 2 years ago I was 33. Yeah, I think he might have been 25 or 26, something like that. But anyway, younger than me. And just so you know, I've only twice in my life dated anyone that was my age. And only once there's someone that was younger than me. And it's not like I'm specifically going out here and looking for older guys. I just found, even in high school, like, I never I never felt like I could really connect with guys my age because my mindset back then, the things I was talking about, the things I was trying to do, just the way I was, like I had fun and I did all that stuff, but I was always thinking ahead. Like I'm a short-term thinker for the fun of it, but I'm a long-term thinker. I think about the long term and how things are going to look 10 years from now, how my life, what I want my life to look like 10 years from now, 20 years from now, even in my teens. Like I looked at this stuff. And a lot of times, I'm not saying for all, but a lot of times guys your age, and especially guys younger, they're not thinking like that. They're thinking about next week, maybe. They're thinking about the weekend. They're not even thinking about next year. So I had a really hard time, and if I'm with someone, we have to be able to have like serious intellectual conversations. Like we can't just always be talking about surface level kind of things, you know? We need to be able to get deep and really talk about things, and I just felt like that was lacking with guys my age. As soon as you get into a serious conversation, they're probably gonna run some kind of joke, because everything's just a joke. Everything has to be funny. So anyway, I was never really that person that dated younger. I always dated guys that were older than me. So, that was the first thing. My spidey senses were tingling and saying, Sarah, leave this one alone. But he seemed nice. He wasn't rude. And although I could tell he was young, he spoke to me with respect. He didn't talk to me like he was a little boy. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to shut it out completely. I'm gonna at least like have a conversation with him on the phone and see whatever. So we talked on the phone and we were able to actually have great conversations, which was great. So I was like, okay, you know what? Even though I'm a little apprehensive, I'll go on this date. So, he plays sports, and he got injured, really bad injury, and he got a knee injury, really bad injury, and he was doing therapy for it, physio, massage, chiro, all that stuff, and he really wanted to go out on this date, and I said, listen, I know you want to like, we want to see each other and everything and meet, but I don't think it's a good time right now because of his injury, he can't sit. He can barely walk. He needed like a crutch to walk. He couldn't sit because with the knee injury, he can't keep his knee bent. He has to elevate it. He has to keep it straight. And we were good. His plan was to go out to eat. So obviously, like, you're gonna be sitting for like a period of time in order to eat. So I just felt like we should have waited. That's what I said to him. I said, listen, I'm here, you're here. Like, let's just chill, talk on the phone until you get to a place where it's more comfortable. But he was insistent. He's like, no, I really want to meet you. And I don't remember how long we had been talking on the phone when we finally did go on this date. And so again, even though I was like, listen, it's all good, I can wait. Let's wait. He's like, no, I really want to see you, I really want to meet you, and all that. Fine. He's like, okay, I'll make a reservation at a place or whatever. I said, good. So he makes a reservation. Back then, I don't do this anymore, but back then, I agreed to him picking me up. I don't do that anymore. I've learned my lesson. Not that anything bad happened, but I just understand that, like, I'm fortunate that I haven't had any crazy people. I haven't dated any crazy people. So no one's gonna just, like, show up at my house. But in hindsight, I realized that, yeah, I can't do that. So now when I go on dates, I meet people there. You're not gonna know where I live for a long time. You're not even gonna know my address for a long time. Anyway, So he gets me. We're driving there. Everything's great. I asked him how he's feeling, whatever. Like, what do we have to do so that he's comfortable? And he's like, oh, he'll be good. He'll be good. Now, I'm a massage therapist. I know how bad that injury is, and I know what you have to do. And I know I've been talking to him for long enough to know that he's been doing therapy like every single day. So we get to, I think it was Jack Astor's or something. We get to Jack Astor's. We park. I literally, like, when I tell you guys, I literally had to like help him walk. Okay? Like, literally help him walk at this point. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm like, this day, I don't have a problem doing that. Don't get me wrong. I have no problem with it. But I just felt like we didn't have to force it. We could have waited. Get a seat. The lady asked us, do we have a preference? I was like, you know what, looking out for him, said we should get a booth. Because I thought at least that way he'll have more space and maybe he can even like stretch his leg. This whole time I'm thinking about this guy. So we get there. And she brings the menus or whatever. And I'm looking through the menu because I've never really eaten there in like probably a really, really long time. At that time, I hadn't eaten there in a really long time. So I'm looking over the menu and I'm like, oh, did you want to like get like an appetizer to share or something? How hungry were you? Like, what were you thinking? Tell me how this man tells me he's not going to eat. And I was like, what? Why? And he's like, oh, I think he said he already ate. He's not hungry or something. I'm like, so to me, I'm like, why would you invite me out for dinner and you're not going to eat? Like, that makes no sense. It would have been better if we said, all right, let's just go out for drinks then maybe. But don't tell me that we're gonna go out for dinner. Because here's the thing. When I go out to dinner with people, I always eat like a little bit before I leave because I don't want to be super hungry when I'm there, because I'm not sure if I'm gonna like the food or the options that are on the menu, and I don't want to be super hungry, right? So I eat before I leave so that by the time I get there, like I eat while I'm getting ready or before I get ready so that by the time I get there I'm full enough but I could still eat more. You get what I'm saying? Now, how do you expect us to go out for dinner and I'm sitting here eating and you're not eating anything? I'm like, you gotta eat something. Like, what's the point of us going out for dinner if you're not gonna eat? I'm trying to make light of it, but in my head I'm thinking, really? Like, it's already bad enough that we're here and you're hurt and I was telling you let's not do this. You picked the place. You chose for us to go out for dinner. Like, why didn't you choose something else? Like, we could have went out for drinks. Okay. Anyways, he said, okay, he's just gonna get some fries. He just wants like maybe a snack or whatever. I'm like, fries? So now, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna not eat because the person who I came with is not eating. I have no problem with it, but it's just weird. It's just not, it's not proper. Like, you don't invite someone out for dinner and then you tell them, oh, you're not gonna eat. But that's not all. Remember I told you, he was the one who chose the restaurant. He chose this place. Tell me how he said he's just gonna order fries because they don't have anything on the menu that he can eat. I can't remember if he's vegetarian or whatever. Honestly, I can't remember. This was 2 years ago. I can't remember. But I specifically remember him saying there's nothing on the menu that he can eat. And I thought, hold on. You made the reservation. You picked this place. Why would you pick a place that you knew had nothing on the menu that you could eat? That made me think that, okay, you didn't book it and then the day of you just didn't feel hungry and you didn't want to eat. You knew, I feel like he knew going in that he had no intention of having dinner. No intention of having dinner. I don't know why. I don't know why. So now it's already starting to feel awkward to me because I'm sitting here. This man is forcing fries that he doesn't really want just so that the two of us can sit and eat. I ended up having like some like thing, like a few appetizers or whatever. So I'm like, okay, now we're sitting there, we're chit-chatting, but the conversation is just kind of like, and it's just so weird because I've spoken to this man on the phone multiple times, and he seemed like he could hold a good conversation with a person. Like, I was like struggling. But then what I realized is, and I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, he was in pain. He was in a lot of pain at that point. Because he's tall, he's in the booth, but he can't really stretch out his leg the way he needs to. And it's starting to hurt now. So it's kind of hard to focus and keep a conversation with a person when you're in pain like that. So even before I ordered the food, when I realized he wasn't gonna eat, I'm like, are you sure you wanna stay here? We could go. We could go, let's just go. And he's like, no. Order something, we're gonna sit, we're gonna chill, I'm good. I'm like, you don't look good, like you look like you're in pain, like seriously, let's just go. He was insistent, no, we're good. So now he's trying to like make conversation or whatever, but it's so forced. You can tell it's forced. You can tell he's in pain. And now the food has already come, and now I feel like, you know what, I just want to hurry up and eat whatever I gotta eat and bounce, because he's not comfortable. I don't feel comfortable for him. It's making this whole situation just uncomfortable in general. So I was like, you know what, even though he was insistent again, no, we're good, let's just chill. At this point, I'm literally sitting across in the booth from him, eating my food, and it's just like silence while he's picking at his fries. And I can tell his mind isn't there. So what's the point of even having a conversation with a person who can't really communicate with you, because their brain is so fixed on the pain that's like literally coursing through their body, they can't focus on that. And I wouldn't expect them to. At that point, I'm sitting there like this, and I'm like, did I really dress up and come out of my house for this shit? I'm like, I just want to go home. And I was like, you know what? We're going home. He's like, no, we're good. I asked the waitress, I said, could you get me a box so I can put this away? And can you bring the check, please? At that point, I didn't care what he wanted anymore, because I felt like he wasn't even in a good place to make any proper decisions. Now, I don't care what you choose to do and how you choose to do, but when I go on dates, to me, I expect the man to pay for my date. Like, you invited me out. If I invite you out, that's different, but you invited me out. Reluctantly so too, because I was like, we shouldn't go. You invited me out. You picked the place. That's just what I expect. And I don't even have to ask or tell a person, because I feel like as a woman, even as a man, but as a woman, you put out a certain energy out there. Men know right away if you're the type of woman that's expected. They don't even have to ask. But the other thing too is, if you're dating guys that you know are not like that, and then expecting that from them, that's a little unrealistic. I don't date guys that don't feel that that is a necessary thing. I don't date guys like that. I don't even attract guys like that. I don't. So I was like, this has never happened to me in my life. So checkout comes or whatever, and I can't remember if he said, it was either A, he left his wallet, or the wallet that he had didn't have the card that he needed to pay, or something like that. But I think it was probably he left his wallet. And I'm thinking, are you serious? After all of this, you're gonna tell me you left your wallet? Now the good news is, because this is what I said, you guys know your energy right off the bat. As soon as he said that, I think the look on my face was like, you are shitting me. Really? And he looked at me and he immediately, like, as soon as he said he left his wallet, he was taking out his phone. He's like, listen, I'll send you an e-transfer for the amount. Like, don't even worry about it. Can you just pay for it, and then I'll send you the e-transfer. As we were sitting there at the table, he was sending me the e-transfer for the amount that I paid. So He knew that, like, yeah, no, this is not going to be like a, oh, she's going to pay for it. I'll be, oh yeah, when I get home, I'll, no. I didn't even have to say anything. My energy said, you really? Really? So as he's sitting there and he's putting it, this is why I remembered why he would have my information in his like payment as his payee thing, because of then he forgot his wallet or something like that and he needed to send me back the money. So he sent it immediately, like right then and there. He was sitting there and he sent it and it went through and all was good. After we left, I then had to literally, because at this point, before he was limping a little bit, now he could barely walk. And he was literally like, I'm much shorter than him, and he was literally like leaning on me in order to walk back to the car. And I'm in the car and we're driving back, he's driving me back, and he's sitting there and he's like, I know this was terrible. And I'm like, you damn right. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You know this is a horrible date. Horrible date. Absolutely horrible. And we were talking about some stuff. I don't know if he was saying something about like making it up to me and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sitting in the car. I'm pretty quiet at this point because I'm thinking, if you just listened to me and waited, this date might have gone better. But then when I really think about it, it probably wouldn't have, because even though he wouldn't have physically been in pain, how are you gonna invite someone to dinner and not eat? How are you gonna invite someone to dinner and not eat? How are you gonna, as a man, forget your wallet? Like, that's something I carry everywhere. Wallet, keys, bus pass. Like, those things I double check for before I leave the house because I don't want to forget them. And right away, all of that just kind of confirmed to me, like, you know what? My mind already told me not to date this guy because he was too young anyways. I've never experienced that with any guy that I've dated. Ever. Ever. So needless to say, we did not go out again. We didn't even end up really talking again. Like, I was just legitimately honest with him. Like, the same things I'm telling you now is honest with him. When he called and he was like, you know, I really want a second chance to like really show you a good time. Like, once I feel better and everything. I said, you know what? I don't think so. I said, I don't hold the whole me thing against you, right? But there's just certain things that you did that you didn't have to do, you shouldn't have done, and it would have made the night way better, the experience way better anyways. And then in my head I was just thinking, it's just things that as a man you should know. And maybe you're just not at that place yet in your journey of manhood to know these things. But there's just certain things you know, like you just know. And I shouldn't have to tell you those things, because those are things you should just know those things. Like, that's just proper etiquette. You don't invite someone out to dinner you don't eat. Like, what? Oh my goodness, it was crazy. Needless to say, like I said, we didn't go out again. But my thing is, like, why do you still have my name in your payee thing? Like, delete it. Delete it. I don't have any names of people in my payee stuff that I don't need to have there. I delete it. I haven't talked to, seen this man in 2 years. 2 years. So yeah. If I could get any advice for being single around this time, this is it. Stop focusing on the fact that you're single. It's not a death sentence, okay? This time is a beautiful time for you to focus on you, to focus on your shit. Get it together. There's nothing wrong with being single now or at any time. And the more you focus on it, the more time you're just wasting. It's just a waste of your energy. Don't focus on that. Focus on getting better, growing yourself, growing your business, getting better in your career, finding out what you like, trying different things, like doing those things. Focus on that. So that finally when someone does come along that's worth your time, your life isn't consumed by them because you have nothing going on with yourself. It's an instant relationship killer, either now or down the road, when you are with someone and your life revolves around them because you have nothing else going on in your life. You have no friends, you have no like extracurricular activities or business or anything. So every moment you wake up, that's the person you want to talk to. You expect them to fill this like void of boredom or just whatever. And you're stifling them. As much as they enjoy your company, you're stifling them. They need space. They need to miss you. They need to like be able to like at the end of the day think, man, I'd really like to talk to her today, but I know she's busy. I can't wait till she gets home later so we can chat. Like, yeah. You need to get your life together. Focus on that. Ooh, this is good.